Welcome back to Grammar Grade 12. I'm really glad you're here. This is Unit 6, Lesson 46, and today we look at what happens when a sentence has more than one subject. We call that a compound subject, two or more subjects sharing a single verb. And the big question is simple. Does that verb go plural or stay singular? The answer depends on the little word that joins the subjects and on what those subjects really mean together. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to hear a compound subject and know exactly which verb it wants. Let's get started. Before we dive in, let's name today's puzzle. A compound subject is two or more subjects sharing one verb. Now here's the question. Does that verb turn plural or stay singular? It depends on two things: the little word that joins the subjects and what those subjects actually mean together. When the subjects are joined by and, the verb is usually plural. When they're joined by or nor, the verb agrees with the subject that sits closer to it. And a few special words flip everything to singular. Keep your eye on the joining word and the meaning, and every compound subject will tell you which verb it wants. Let's start with the most common case. When two subjects are joined by the word and, they usually take a plural verb because you're talking about more than one thing. The teacher and the coach plan the trip. That's two people doing the planning, so the verb is plural. Plan, not plans. The same holds when you use both and together. Both the dog and the cat need dinner. Two hungry animals, so a plural verb, need. The rule of thumb is simple. If and joins two separate doers, picture more than one, and reach for the plural verb. But watch out. Sometimes and joins two words that name a single thing. Think of peanut butter and jelly, or macaroni and cheese. Those aren't two separate items on your plate. Together, they name one dish. So they take a singular verb. Macaroni and cheese is on the menu. One meal. So is, not are. The same goes for a phrase like rock and roll, which names one kind of music, or bread and butter, one simple snack. When the two parts really work as a single unit, one dish, one idea, one pair, treat the subject as singular and choose the singular verb. Now for the trickier joiners. Or and nor, including either, or, and neither, nor. Here, the verb doesn't care how many subjects there are in total. It agrees only with the subject closer to it, the one nearest the verb. Listen to the difference. Neither the boys nor the girl was late. The closer subject is girl, singular, so the verb is was. But flip the order. Neither the girl nor the boys were late. Now boys sits closer. It's plural, so the verb becomes were. Same people, different order, different verb. With or and nor, the nearer subject always wins. One more special case, and it overrides everything else. When a compound subject is introduced by the words many a, every, or each, the verb turns singular, even though and is joining the parts. Why? Because those words make you look at the members one at a time. Every student and teacher is invited. Is, not are, because every points to each person individually. Each book and folder was collected. Again, singular. And many a poet and painter has struggled for recognition. So whenever you spot many a, every, or each in front of a compound subject, go straight to the singular verb. Let's fold all of that into a quick check for any compound subject. 1. Are the subjects joined by and? Then usually go plural, unless the two parts name a single thing. 2. Do the words together name just one thing, like macaroni and cheese? Then singular. 3. Are they joined by or nor? Then ignore the count and match the verb to the closer subject. And 4. Is the compound introduced by many a, every, or each? Then singular, every time. 4 quick questions, and any compound subject will hand you the right verb. Let's practice. In this first set, I'll hand you a sentence with 2 verbs to choose from. Think about the joining word and whether the subjects act as separate doers or as one unit. Pause the video and pick your verb before I reveal each answer. The captain and the crew blank the victory. Celebrate or celebrates. These are 2 separate doers, the captain and the crew, joined by and. That calls for a plural verb, so the captain and the crew celebrate the victory. Macaroni and cheese blank my favorite dinner. Is or are? Even though and joins 2 words, together they name a single dish, one meal on the plate. One unit takes a singular verb, so macaroni and cheese is my favorite dinner. Both the novel and the film blank the same theme. Explore or explores. The phrase both and joins 2 separate works, the novel and the film. Both and always takes a plural verb, so both the novel and the film explore the same theme. Now the second set. These sentences use or and nor, or one of those special words, many a, every, each. Watch the closer subject and watch for the words that force a singular verb. Pause and choose before I answer. Neither the twins nor their mother blank at home. Was or were. With nor, the verb agrees with the closer subject, and the closer subject here is mother, which is singular. So neither the twins nor their mother was at home. Either the manager or the assistants blank complaints. Handle or handles. With or, we match the verb to the closer subject, and here that's assistants, which is plural. So either the manager or the assistants handle complaints. Every desk and chair blank a good cleaning. Needs or need. The word every sits in front of the compound subject, and every always points to one item at a time. That forces a singular verb, so every desk and chair needs a good cleaning. Let's pull it together. First, when and joins 2 subjects, the verb is usually plural, unless those 2 parts name a single thing, like macaroni and cheese, which stays singular. Second, when or nor does the joining, the verb agrees with the closer subject. Change the order of the subjects and the verb can change with it. And third, the words many a, every, and each always pull a compound subject down to a singular verb. Underneath all 3, it's the same habit from last lesson. Don't just count the nouns. Listen to the meaning and the joining word. Next time, in Lesson 47, we'll look at intervening expressions, those phrases that slip between the subject and the verb and try to trick your ear. I'll see you there.